So I don't have a mic to attach to this iPhone, which doesn't have a port for that. But I'm showing you that I have this piece of wire attached to this piece of doweling held with a brick on top of my tower speakers, which are set on a platform. And I can angle the speakers so that this thing here angles out of the way so I don't poke myself in the eye when I sit down. And I made a way to put a string through the bottom of my iPhone so I can hang it from the aforementioned piece of doweling. And like that there. So once again, famous people who you may not know were the original writers of famous songs. Old 55 I thought was the Eagles, but it's actually Tom Waits. So, and one of the previous songs I just played was the same way. But if you hear the Tom Waits version, you know why it wasn't popular. It's just very odd, much like the person. And I'll mention to see Tom Waits in his really, really early days is to look up an episode. There are only old episodes, of course, of a show called Fernwood, F-E-R-N, Wood, Fernwood Tonight show. It had Martin Mull in it. He sat on a yellow chaise lounge. And Tom Waits was this guy who, as a shtick went, his car ran out of gas in front of the studio. So he came in and he's drinking and, yeah. Old 55. Well, my time went so quickly. I went lickety splitly out to my old 55. And as I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. And now the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade. I leave the parade, just wishing I stayed a little longer. Lord, don't you know, feeling's getting stronger. 6 in the morning gave me no warning. I had to be on my way. And now the cars are all passing me, trucks are all flashing me. I'm headed home from your place. And now the sun's coming up. I'm riding with Lady Luck. Freeway cars and trucks, stars beginning to fade. And I lead the parade, just wishing I stayed a little longer. Lord, don't you know, feeling's getting stronger. Well, my time went so quickly. Well, lickety slickly out to my old 55. And as I pulled away slowly, feeling so holy, God knows I was feeling alive. And I remember that song so distinctly from going to journalism school. And I had a 66 Rambler 700 Classic. I was just looking it up last night. Had fold-down front seats. Had vacuum windshield wipers, vacuum operated from vacuum from your manifold, I guess. And yeah, and a friend of mine bought it for me and let me pay it off bit by bit. Hey, Stu. And I won't tell you why Stu was the possessor of such largesse at the time. Yep, the stories I could tell. But, yeah, so I would be going off to journalism school in the morning and the sun would be shining and that would be playing on my stereo. I always overdid it. I mean, I like to overdo it. There's some motto that goes, nothing succeeds like excess. Maybe that's the motto of America. You know, it's on their coat of arms. Yep. This is an odd song. Well, not an odd song, but one you don't hear very often. Sail On Sailor, the Beach Boys. And some of the songs I download, they have the chords for the first one or two verses and the chorus, but some of the other verses may not have the chords. So I may make a few mistakes, but I like doing it. It's got a lot of changes in it. I sailed an ocean, unsettled ocean, through restful waters and deep commotion, sometimes frightened, unenlightened. Sail on, sailor. I rest the waters, fight Neptune waters, sail through the sorrows of life's marauders, unrepenting, often empty. Sail on, sailor. Called like a silver ride alone, but I sail. Fought like a crust of bread, an old oil well. Seldom stumble, never crumble. Try to stumble, life's a rumble. Feel the stinging I've been given. Never ending, unrelenting. Heartbreak searing, always fearing. Never caring, persevering. Sail on, sailor. I work the seaways, guilt-trapped seaways. I've shipwrecked daughters of wicked waters, uninspired, drenched and tired. Sail on, sailor. Always needing, never feeling, and the thunder, feel my blunder. There's a warning, stop the crying, and the lying, and my dying. Sail on, sailor. I'll let you ride alone, but I sail. Fought like a crust of bread, but oh, do I well. Seldom stumble, never crumble. Try to tumble, life's a rumble. Feel the stinging I've been given. Never ending, unrelenting. Heartbreak searing, always fearing. Never caring, persevering. Sail on, yeah. For some reason, my minutes. Oh, I see why now. Oh, not really. I have to read how many minutes I'm into my video. Okay, this is a very evocative song. Her name is, will it go out of my mind now? Ferron. Ferron. And she is I think she's American, but she's based in Canada now. Lesbian singer. My girlfriend introduced me to her in about 1995, and I went to see her in a tiny space in Salmon Arm. So, and she was good. So this is called Shadows on a Dime, and I fell in love with this song after I was introduced to it. It's quite long. And I guess it's about, the life of a singer, traveling singer, in some ways, versus the life of a factory worker, versus the traveling life of a musician. Seems like a life of ease compared to working at a factory, and maybe it is, but it has its own price. So this window makes a perfect frame for New England leaves like painted rain. I hold me as I hold this train, all shadows on a dime. You move forward fast while holding back. You gauge your steps and you don't look back. Me, I'm looking backward down the track to see us dreamers in our prime. I poured my soul in Santa Cruz. I ached all night, next day I lost my shoes. It's so optional what you may or may not lose in this pattern we call time. 15 years ago I worked the line with 1,000 more, doing time while foremen smiled. Complicit crime, we were strangers to the plan. I know the feeling. An old man ran the gear, she couldn't move. They said she'd been here 40 years. Well, I think that's rude, 'cause 40 years is 40 years, and I was only 15 then. The work waged war upon our backs, but we gauged our steps and we didn't look back. One day the old woman didn't come back. I couldn't work so well and they let me go. But I don't forget about the factory. I don't expect the bride to always be. Can I give you what you want to see? Can we do it one more time? 10 years ago I worn this guitar down. It's ivory whites, now mustard brown. It's face cracks from every town. Still it resonates with age, just like me. Where would I be without its ring? Where would I be if I couldn't sing for half a chance? You spare nothing, a tethered bird to a tethered cage. I sing to you to feed the dream. I call to you, though it's a muted scream. We're one-on-one, projected beams, translucent future be our sage. 5 years in place since you wore my side. She is my gift, I've love and pride with her level up. She is my guide, a spirit on the way. Our love is just like this train, or like the moon to wax and wane. But to know somebody worth the strain, me, I have one gift to bring. I cried for her, then I let her down. She let me go, then we came around. I felt us new, and I felt the ground, and I felt myself believing. Now a tired conductor passes by. He takes my ticket with a sigh. I don't think he meant to catch my eye, but he doesn't turn away. He says I have a daughter as old as you, and there's nothing anyone else can do. Do you play guitar? Well, good for you. Me, I play the violin. I imagine him with his hair jet black as he hid his fiddle in the back. He gauged his words as the train went slack. The New York train stops here. But I don't forget about the factory. I don't expect this ride to always be. Can I give them what they want to see? Let me do it twice, a second time for me, yeah. 'Cause these windows make a perfect frame for New York buildings like upright trains. They hold me as I hold the rain, fleeting shadows on a dime.